Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school. We're going into our 13th year homeschooling this year. Today, I am going to be taking you through kind of my initial setup of the Erin Condren Teacher Planner. If you have not seen my full review and walkthrough, I will have a link for that. Today is actually EC Insider launch day, and if you are an EC Insider, you get 15% off today for the teacher planners as well as the accessories. So if you're not an insider, definitely sign up. All you have to do is sign up with your email, and I will have a link for that in the description box as well. So because I'm a homeschooler, I do have to change some of the things in the teacher planner to make it work better for me. So what I'm going to do is kind of share what I'm going to be using, and then we're going to get started. Okay, I realized I didn't have all of my stickers. So I don't know if I will use any of this washi tape, but this is the new Erin Condren teacher washi tape set for this year. So I do have these. I do have some from last year, which is the floral design from last year. I do have a few sticker sheets from Erin Condren that I purchased. Actually, some of these are for my reading journal as well. I do use some of these each year to designate reading logs for my kids. I have one for Lucy, one for Emma, and one for Jack. And then these are new this year that I haven't used before, which are custom label stickers for the actual weekly planning pages. So we will see how that goes. I think I ordered enough for a full year of planning, or as many weeks as I really needed. We'll see if that actually happens or not. I will set some of those up. I have the new sticky note set, the teacher sticky note set, because I think I'm going to make some notes for specific sections just so that when I sit down to really work through my curriculum and resources, I will have everything kind of where I want it, or notes of where I want it. I can't find my new gel pen that I just got from Erin Condren recently. I got the beautiful Wildflowers gel pen that they have, and I've been loving using that. It has disappeared. It's not surprising. I do tend to misplace things quite often. But so I have an older gel pen and another black pen. We'll see what writes the best when I'm writing on the sticky notes and such. I do have this Cool for School Edition 5 Classroom Collection Designer Sticky Book, primarily for these transparent dot stickers that have rose gold foil. I really liked these when they came out a couple of years ago, and I used them in the mini monthly calendar section. I don't have my full year plan laid out yet, but I will talk about that shortly. And then I have the new Cool for School Designer Sticky Book. I don't know if I will use any of these, but I do really like them. The to-do list stickers, I really like these little lined stickers because I just need lines. But I might use some of these conference stickers, and I think there were some planning stickers as well, yes, for my planning days. I'm not entirely sure of every single day yet because I have not had a chance to really flesh that out too much, so we'll see. This is my vertical life planner, and typically I will have already set up this so that I can kind of use this as a guide for my teacher planner. However, I have not had any time to sit down and work through my new life planner. So it's going to be flying by the seat of our pants, and we're going to try and do the teacher planner first this year. So wish me luck, guys. So obviously, teacher lesson planner, I am going to write my name. This is what I use for my goals color for progress. I don't have the neatest handwriting, but I really do enjoy this color. So I know a lot of people will get a sticker. I don't. And again, I don't have the nicest handwriting, but I am okay with that. And since it's my planner, that's all that matters, right? So I write my name in. It is good to go. I know I used to be really concerned about writing my name. Seems like a silly thing. So I don't typically cover over these sections because I don't need to, but I kind of feel like I want to this time. I'm not sure. This is going to be trial and error, guys. So what I'm going to try and do, this is gonna be interesting. going to cut this sticker in half and try to do it evenly. You know, I do have a paper cutter for scrapbooking, but I don't have it upstairs. And if I mess this up, I did mess it up, that's okay. It's not as straight as I want it to be. And you know, sometimes that is what happens. So I have to see how bad it looks. Actually not that bad. So the first thing that I'm doing is just covering up the communication log. Obviously this is not at the start where I wanted to start, but that's where we're starting right now, just to see if that works, and it does. You can still see communication log a little bit through the stickers, but that's okay. And then what I will do is I will put stickers over this that says Emma's reading log. That's kind of one of the big changes that I make to this teacher planner, is I make sure that I have space to keep track of all of the books that my kids read. I think that I mentioned this before, but they also keep track of their books, but I also just keep track of it. I wish that was long enough to cover all of this. In fact, I wish that I could cover it with one of these stickers. Can I? Actually, this might work. So sometimes I will cover up these sections and sometimes I do not. It just really depends on the year and how much time I have, or if I'm really focused on changing some things. In this section, obviously, I do not need an all about me section or events and volunteers information because I'm the only one teaching my kids. There's nobody else teaching my kids during our homeschool year. And I don't have any professional development stuff, although, you know, sometimes I do go to conferences and such. Sometimes I speak at conferences, and I guess I could put some of that information there. But for right now, all I'm going to do is cover these little sections with the washi, which I'm actually really pleased that these little skinny washi stickers will cover up this. Now, obviously, when I purchased these stickers, I was not thinking about covering these sections, and you can see through the stickers, but it's not that big of a deal to me. Now, the primary thing that I do in this section is write out all of the resources that I'm using for each kid for the year. So essentially what I do is, for Emma, I will write out all of her classes, resources, and the credit that I'm planning on giving to her for that particular class, just so that I have all of that at the beginning of the year. It just helps me keep track of things. And then I also do keep track of Jack and Lucy's stuff as well. That, and then this I think I will put here. Guys, I'm so bad with the scissors. Why didn't I just grab? That doesn't matter. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. It's not about perfection. Now that I've covered up these sections, I have one section for Emma and all of her courses and resources that we're using. One for Jack, one for Lucy, one for personal development, which is something new that I started this year with my older two kids. And then down here, my hope is to write out the passwords for the particular online resources that Jack and Emma use throughout the year, just so that I have access to that, because sometimes they get logged out and they don't have their passwords memorized or whatnot, and then it will take me a long time to figure that stuff out. So I will just write them down so that I have access to them in pencil, because we are prompted to change our passwords. My plan is to have one box for each child and then one for personal development / family stuff that we're going to do. If I start out writing Emma's resources and I know that it's going to be more, I will put these two boxes as Emma, and then just have one box for Jack and one box for Lucy. I think that will probably be what happens. I don't think Emma will take up 2 entire boxes for resources, and so I may just do personal development in purple, which is my family color down here, with like a little line separating it. So even though it's under Emma's coursework, it is both for Emma and Jack. So that's kind of the first thing. Well, the first thing after I did this thing. So they don't have letter stickers anymore in the sticker books, and I like to use the letter stickers. So that's why I keep buying the 5th edition of this particular sticker book, because it has those transparent dot stickers and it has letter stickers. And those are both things that I really use quite a bit in my in my teacher planner. So I like to have these, and it's also, I don't know, my Michaels, or is it Michaels or AC Moore? I think it's AC Moore now. They don't carry a lot of letter stickers in my AC Moore store. And so unfortunately, I either have to order them online, or they do sell some letter stickers, but the stickers are just not enough. It's just not enough. So instead I continue purchasing this sticker book. Whenever there's a sale and I can get it, I usually do. And I have sometimes just done Emma's books. Sometimes I do Emma's reading log. Again, it depends on what stickers I have available to use because I need all of the same stickers. And then this section right here is for the title of the book. I'm going to cover that too. Even though this says name, I use author. Author goes here, the date that the book is finished. So it's date the book's finished, author, title of the book. It's a little bit tight, but I just try and write as small as I can. I do not need these skinny washi stickers for my reading journal. So it's good to have random extra stuff sometimes. Okay, so Emma's reading log is done. And then we're moving into this beautiful section, which I absolutely love, these mini monthly calendars. I do use them for so many things, primarily scheduling out our year. And I do start usually with a pencil, and I go through and I kind of map out when I want to start, how many days each month has, if there are holidays or days that I know we're definitely not going to be doing any school, if there are busier times, that kind of stuff. As of right now, I think that our first day is going to be July 17th, but I have not finalized that. And that's primarily because this month, May, is so jam-packed, and June is also looking pretty jam-packed. And so I'm a little concerned that I'm not going to have all of my stuff together by the middle of July. And that's really because we're typically on family vacation with my brother and sister-in-law, pretty much the end of June to the beginning of July. So we'll see. We'll have to see. Now, what I'm going to do is try and figure out which colors I want for different things. What color do I want? Because I know that I can put in my planning days at least, because those are generally done on the fourth Thursday of the month, depending, well, it depends. I guess it depends on which month it is too. Let me see. I feel like last year, when did we start last year? So last year we started our slow start on the 11th. I don't know if I want to do the 10th. I feel like that might be too early. And I know that we don't have to start on a Monday, but in my world, in my brain, it works for me to start on Monday. I know a lot of people will recommend starting on a Wednesday, but what I'm going to do is tentatively put the 17th as my start date. I'm not going to map out vacations or any of that stuff yet. And that is because I do really need to sit down and look at all of my resources, look at our year as a whole, figure out if there's any vacations that we're going to be doing or days off or time away, and then I'll be able to better figure that out. Also, I have to consider Emma doing cross country in the fall again, and last year we actually took vacation in September, and she wasn't participating in cross country that week, but we didn't want her to miss 2 cross country meets because it's such a short season. So it did kind of hamper our vacation, which we had planned prior to her starting cross country. I'm drinking an iced latte if you're curious. I need a little extra boost today. So let's see here. I am going to put, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12. All right, I'm not going to do every single planning day. Let's see, 3, probably do these. Okay, so I'm going to use this color as my planning day. Now, I call this a planning day or a monthly reset or a thinking day or whatever. That's what I have done. So I will do this color as our conferences. So not every month, but most months I will have a conference with my kids and just check in with them to see how they're doing. Obviously, because we're starting in the middle of July, I'm not going to have a conference with them this month or schedule one. Typically, the conference is the day after my planning day. So if I have my planning day on August 24th, my conference would be on the 25th. And this is kind of just a reset time for me. During my planning day, I'm doing a lot of personal planning, goal planning, catching up on all kinds of things, as well as planning homeschool related stuff for the next month to 6 weeks. I usually look at about 6 weeks on my my monthly reset or my planning day, just in case we have extra time, not extra time, but if we move faster through materials so that I'm prepared for that. Then the next day I will sit down individually with each of my kids and chat with them about what I've observed throughout the month, which is when I take my notes and kind of figure out what's next, and then also ask them how they feel about things and whether or not they want to change things or they need new resources or whatnot. So those are the two that I'm going to put in here right now. And then let's see. So my planning days, I'll do first. Now, if we do a 6 weeks on, 1 week off schedule, this week will be vacation week. So I don't know if I want to do my planning day here or here. The 24th feels a little early for me to do a planning day, mainly because of my goals and everything, because I'll still have almost a full week. But I think what I will do is I'll put my planning day here, because if we do 6 weeks on, 1 week off, it would be good to do a conference before our vacation week, and then I can actually take a vacation week, which is part of the reason that I've started thinking about these, the scheduling, because typically what I will do in a typical year is we will just start school and we'll break in August for Jack's birthday for a few days, then we'll break in October for a few days for Lucy's birthday, and then but essentially we go straight through until Thanksgiving, and then we're off for about 6 weeks for our winter break, which every year I do ask my kids if they still want to have a winter break as long as we do, and every year they say yes. So we are going to continue it. Obviously, I'm not going to do my planning day on Thanksgiving, so I'm going to do it the last day of November. My planning day in December is typically the entire week between Christmas and New Year's, but I will put it here. Okay, so those are all of my planning days. I won't do these days. Sometimes I cover up this section with a sticker, just a blank sticker, so that I have a little bit more note space for keeping track of days and how many days each month we're doing for school and holidays and stuff. But I used to have these like 8.5 by 11 label sticker sheets that I would print things on and then cut them out. I don't have a Cricut machine or any of that stuff to make things look pretty when I cut them, but I would use that and I would just cover this. I cannot find those sheets anywhere, and I used them last year, so I'm not really sure where the heck they've gone. Okay, so now I'll put my conferences. And so I'm not going to do a conference in July, but I will do one in August. I will do one in September. Some of my planning days are going to be on the last week of the month, which typically I don't plan them. I like to have a little bit of extra time, but the way the days are falling, it just kind of makes sense for me. I think I want to do conferences on the Monday before Thanksgiving, and then I will also do one here. But this day won't be a conference for my kids. It'll be more of a discussion about the next semester, kind of the winter/spring semester. I don't know, maybe I don't need to put that there at all, because we do our vision boards during this week, which kind of covers it. So yeah, I'm gonna take this off. I don't need to do a conference a couple of weeks after we start back to school. So I will do one here. I will do another one on the 29th. This should be kind of wrapping up our school year, but I will put one more at the end of April just to make sure. I mean, this year, Jack and Lucy, we're in like, what week? The second week in May right now. Jack and Lucy are finishing up their math still. So that is what it is. Okay, so the other things that I will keep track of here are our vacation times. So not only vacations from homeschool, which aren't always like an actual vacation for us, it's more of like a week off where mom can catch up on all of the things that I don't do when we're really being intentional about homeschooling, because I do treat homeschooling like it is my job. So it does take quite a bit of work, the way that I homeschool. It's just my choice. So I tend to focus the majority of my time on homeschooling and then also my business. And so some things during those chunks of homeschool time, things get pushed off. And so when we have a week off, it's not necessarily a vacation week for me. It's kind of like a catch-up week for me, if that makes sense. I will also do birthdays in here, and I will do holidays that my husband is off. And then if we actually have vacation where we're going away or trips, I keep track of that in here, and then field trips as well. Some of the things I will use a pen or a pencil, like if we have a homeschool break or I'm trying to work out our schedule for the year. And so I'm looking at, okay, we're going to start on the 17th. And so what would 6 weeks on? Well, that would be through the 25th. And then I will square off this week. So I know, okay, that would be a week off where we're not doing school or the kids are working on their passion projects. So it kind of depends on, just kind of depends. Now this section right here, I typically have label stickers, month label stickers to cover up these labels because, like I say this in every single teacher planner review that I have done for Erin Condren. I wish that they would label these July through June instead of January through December. And I know that they don't because you have different start dates available. I think you can start in July, August, September, or January. So obviously you can't please everybody, but I do kind of feel like they could have one of it, just keep them blank if you don't want to put them in a specific order that would work better for me. Just keep them blank. So I am waiting for some label stickers, month label stickers that I got from Planner Kate, and I will relabel these July through June. And then what I do in these sections is I will put down any books that I'm trying to get through, or resources, or big projects, or Brave Writer books that we're working on. If there's something special going on in the month, whether it's birthdays or holidays, I also put days off that we have right up at the top so that I'm aware of that. And then this is kind of my preliminary planning spot for all of my homeschool curriculum. So again, I do a lot of pencil planning and using sticky notes at the beginning of the year. So I will use a lot of sticky notes to take notes, make lists. I will sit down and make a bunch of lists and put sticky notes and just stick everything in here. And then once I have an idea of, okay, this looks real and I don't have to move anything around, that's the point that I copy it. And I will use the different colors that my kids will be for the school year. Typically Emma is a magenta color, like something like this, and then Jack is blue, and then Lucy is kind of, I don't know, sometimes, no, this is my Emma color. I can't find my pen at the moment. I have like a corally color that I will use. I have tried using this pink color, but it's a little too light. So I will write their particular resources in their color. And then if it's something that they are going to be doing all together, or if it's Jack and Emma that are doing something together, it will be in purple. And that kind of just helps me as I'm setting up the months. That's kind of the flow of my planning. So big picture planning, year planning, to make sure that I'm covering or getting to the points that I want to get to. Like I will look and see, okay, where do I want to be in teaching textbooks? And if we're way behind come the next month, I will know that I need to adjust some things. But this is just kind of to give me a good understanding of the year as a whole, because we use so many books and resources. It's just one of those things. So as soon as I get those month label stickers, I will relabel these July through June. I'm not at the point yet where I can write any of the stuff down. I'm just not there yet. I'm hoping that I will get there soon, but it is not yet. And then, you know, guys, when I started out this video, I said that these were going to be for Emma and the Inspire design was going to be for Lucy, but I think I did the Inspire design for Emma, and that's okay. It kind of matches with what is there already. So, and this is for Lucy, so I need to wait actually. So I've already taken it out. I do it in age order. So these are Jack's reading log spreads, and then this one is for Lucy. So what I will do is I will go, and then Jack is going to be, this is kind of like the canvas design sticker sheet this year, I think. And I think it's Starlight is the color. I just went into this particular sticker sheet and used whatever the color that was already there. I just used that one. Obviously it doesn't cover up this section, and you know, if I do have some blue stickers somewhere, but I'm not sure where they are at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it as is for the time being. Now, I'm not going to give Jack rose gold. I'll leave links to the reading logs that my kids use, but I do also keep track of all of their reading. I like to have it in my teacher planner just so that I have a record of it for the year. I sometimes have to ask them because I will miss books, because I try to keep track of all of their reading, not just their school reading, if that makes sense, because I do want to give them credit for all of the books that they read. I think it's important. And now for Lucy, let's see. There we go. All right, so I have Jack's reading log, Lucy's reading log. I've got Emma's at the front. This is where I do a lot of my pre-planning for the year. I already have a bunch of stuff written out here for Emma and Jack for this year. It was mainly my list to make sure that I got the curriculum that I needed. So what I will do is I will start fleshing out different ideas based on the subject areas that we will cover this year, but I won't be doing that today. This is pre-planning for July dates to remember. I'm not going to be doing that, but what I am going to do is take out the sticker sheets. I can find them. I don't know where I put them. Here they are. Okay, the next step in my initial planning for this year is to get the stickers on that are applicable for the holidays that we are going to be not celebrating, but observing, I guess. So last year, the stickers were colored based on the color of the month, but this year they have a little gold accent. They're really pretty, and there are some just random like teardrop stickers that are also gold, and little flag stickers. I don't tend to use these, but they are quite nice. Okay, so now that I'm done with all of the holiday stickers, I can set these aside, and I am going to put my planning days into my monthly calendars just so that they are there. I also keep them on my family calendar and on my personal calendar. I really do try and protect those days. So let's see here. Okay, so let's see what else I want to work on right now. I don't think I'm going to be mapping anything else out here, which I already talked about. I don't have my label stickers yet, or if I did insert some footage of me setting up these. Jack's reading log, Lucy's reading log, mapping out the year and then the months. I'll just go through what I do. I will have a video going over all of my actual planning, but this again is just the initial planning. Super long video for not actually planning any resources. This will be pre-planning for the year in coordination with these monthly boxes. So I'll write down everything that we're doing and make some notes, as well as using sticky notes. Then this is July's planning, specific books, specific things I want to cover, any projects that the kids want to work on, all of that kind of stuff, and I'll fill in the dates to remember. That's holidays and birthdays and vacation days, etc. I will still put birthdays and vacations and all of that stuff in here, and I do keep a tally over here on how many days we do each month. But then I also have this homeschool attendance chart. I will leave a link in the description box if you want this. It's just a free printable from my website that I also keep in one of the clear pockets in the back, just to update and have in case my teacher reviewer needs it at the end of the year. We are required to do 175 days of school in Maine, and so I check off every day that we do school and keep track of it on this as well as in here. And then we get to the weekly pages, which I'm going to set up in just a second. And then right at the end of the month, there are 2 more line pages, and this is where I do my end of month wrap up on my monthly reset day on one side, and then on the next side is when I have my monthly conferences with the kids. I just jot down a few notes of things that they say or ideas that they give me so that I can keep track of it and get it ready, not necessarily for August, but at some future month. So the other thing that I am going to be doing today is just setting up July with these sticker sheets, these label sticker sheets that I got. I don't know if I will use them, and already, like I've said, I'm not going to be homeschooling this week, but there may be some things that I'm working on or that the kids are working on, and I will keep track of that here. So there's 50 labels on one sheet, and so we'll see how this goes. I don't know how well I'll be able to get these stickers in the in the label section because I'm not super precise with things, but you know, that's okay. So I had these printed because typically I will just write their name up at the top, but this year I'm trying these label stickers. We'll see how long it goes, and then I will only set up 1 month at a time, and then I will update them, like update the next month during my monthly reset day or my planning day. I talked about this a little bit when I did my walkthrough. Because Jack is going to be doing some high school level courses this year, I am going to give him 2 columns now. I started giving Emma 2 columns a couple of years ago when she started doing all high school level courses because I just needed the space to keep track of everything. Lucy only gets 1 column, and then Jack used to only get 1 column as well, but now I am going to give him 2. We'll see how that goes. And I do weekly planning. So I sit down on Sundays and map out our week depending on what we have going on outside of the house, and that's kind of how I plan our homeschool. On weeks that we are off but my kids are still working on passion projects, that's primarily like May, June, and December are usually the months when we have the most vacation time, quote unquote. And on those weeks when the kids are working on passion projects, I do still keep track of all of that and I write it down. And you can think of it as planning from behind or reverse record keeping, something like that. That's kind of what we do. And so again, I'm going to give 2 columns to Emma. These earlier weeks as well, if we're really on vacation, which we tend to be, we tend to take a couple of weeks off at the beginning of July. I also will map out some different ideas to try and figure out how I'm going to manage their schedule. This is primarily helpful for things like Emma's BJU Press Spanish, which takes, it's 180 days of lessons. It's not 180 lessons where you can do like 4 or 5 lessons in a day, like you might think of some of the early elementary math and such. Their 180 lessons is like 180 classes, like hour-long classes. So I do have to make sure that I'm mapping that out correctly, because we do not do Spanish every single day. We do it almost every single day, but some weeks we do not get to Spanish every day, and so because of that, I do try to double up sometimes. Jack is also going to be starting Japanese this year with a new curriculum that I found from zero, and I'm really excited about it, but because there's like no lesson plans, I'm a little nervous. So I need to kind of map things out and see how I want them to go. Now, typically I do everybody by age when I'm listing things out, but not in the planner, because there's 3 columns and then 3 columns. And so I don't want Jack to be half on one side and half on the other. So I always put Lucy next to Emma, and there will not be a time when Lucy will need 2 columns when I'm also homeschooling Emma, because she only has a couple of years left, which is crazy to me. Well, depending on what she wants to do, if we extend her high school or not, we'll see, because she is a full year ahead of her peers. So she technically has an extra year that she can either, try and do dual enrollment because we have free access when she is technically a homeschooler, or maybe have a year where she is interning. We're unsure. This last column, which I haven't mentioned yet, is our family column. This is going to be personal development that I'm doing with Emma and Jack, or it will be books that I'm reading aloud to everybody, or it will be Brave Writer stuff. I just put family. In the past, I've had 2 columns for family, so I may end up having to bleed over into this section, which is also totally fine. I'm not sure if I will or not. It's really going to depend on how everything goes once we actually start and I see how our resources are working. I mean, everything's kind of trial and error, because every year, even if we've used the resources before, and for Jack and Lucy, I have used the majority of the resources that they are using. I've already done them with Emma for the most part. There are a few changes, but for the most part, we've done all of the levels with Emma. So it's not entirely new, but there are some changes, but then Emma does have new stuff every year. So every year is just a little bit different. Depending on the kids, it takes a little bit of time to ease into things, and that is totally okay. It's why I advocate for a slow start, and it's why we start so early in the year. Well, that, and also because my kids still want to take December off, even though Emma's in high school. She still wants that nice long break in between Thanksgiving and New Year's, and you know what? So do I. So I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, and so that is the end of July, and that's what I'm going to do each month, but I will do it when I do my monthly reset or my planning day. Okay, and so then I will fill out these calendars more. I don't usually do that until my planning day. Again, I do monthly planning. So I start by filling out these monthly boxes with my overview for the year. And then each month I will kind of go in and make adjustments as we go. But when I set up each month, I do that on my monthly reset day. I go back to these boxes, see where we're at for the particular month that we're going into, if I've had to make adjustments or whatnot. I also make sure that I put all of the kids' appointments or sports schedules or activities, anything going on outside of the house, I make sure to have on here. And then when I get to the weekly planning pages, I'm able to see, okay, well, we have like 3 appointments this week, plus cross-country practice, plus a meet, plus another thing going on with church, and so the week is going to have to be lighter. And so that's kind of how I work through planning, monthly planning and then weekly planning. It's just what works best for me. And again, I do a lot of pre-planning here for the next month, listing things that I want to do, or if the kids give me ideas, I will write it down. There's so much note space in here, you can really get quite a bit of information down, especially if you like to keep track of projects like I do. I do want to give my kids credit when they are fully into a project and working thoroughly with that. This year, for some reason, I also got July 2024, which I think is great. I probably won't use it, although I will most likely use the line pages for planning for 2024, 2025, which I won't say anything more. And then you can get up to 20 student checklist pages. These are great for habit trackers. That's the only way that I've used them. When my kids were really little, Emma and Jack, when they were really little, I would list the days of the month down the side, and then I would list not only their subjects that I wanted them to cover, but character qualities, chores, habits, all of the things that I wanted to touch on each month. I would list up at the top and then just check them off for each day that we covered those things. This always gives me a good representation of what we have actually completed throughout the month. And that is really helpful, especially on the hard months when you think you're not getting anything done. You are able to look at this and see, okay, we are getting quite a bit done. And if you are having a month where you're not getting a lot of stuff done, you know that you just need to make some adjustments for the next month. So if there's a month where we only do science with Lucy 3 times, well, I know that the next month I probably ought to try and up that to maybe 10 or 15 days. So that's kind of how I've used these in the past. I don't really use them anymore. I do have my own daily habit tracker printable, which sometimes I will use when I'm setting up new rhythms and routines for myself. I like to use this. I list out all of the steps that I want to do and check off each day that I do them, but I do give them to my kids to use as well. This is another free printable I have on my website if you're interested, but this just helps me keep track of things and make sure that I'm covering what I need to. When I was only tracking 2 kids, I was able to do that all in this planner, but once I had 3 kids, I wasn't able to get enough checklist pages to cover 3 kids, so that's why I created my own. But they do have a teacher record book, both a coiled and a bound version, like a soft bound petite planner type. Well, it's a little bit larger than a petite planner, but that has tons of checklist pages. It's obviously smaller than this, but I think that you can still fit the days of the month down the side if you wanted to use it that way. Yeah, so that is actually where I'm going to stop off for my initial setup of my teacher planner this year. I think that it's going to work out quite well. I am really excited to get a lot of the homeschool stuff situated because it feels like I have so much stuff going on right now, and having all of that stuff taken care of will be a big weight off of my shoulders. So I'm looking forward to having that done. But I hope that this was helpful, just seeing how I kind of change things around. There's not a whole lot that I have to change around being a homeschooler. It's mainly like the communication log. It's mainly this first section here where I will list out the different curriculum and resources we are using. That's mainly all that I need to change. Using the graph paper, obviously you can use graph paper however you want. We just happen to use it as a reading log, which works for me. And then that's kind of just how my planner works. I really like that there's not a lot of extra stuff in here. I think that's why it's so functional for me. I've tried so many homeschool planners before I really settled on an Erin Condren teacher planner back in like 2014, 2015. I bought all of the planners. And then I bought all of the planners in like 2016, 2017, because I was like, I'm a homeschooler. There's got to be a better way for homeschool planning. You know, I shouldn't have to buy a teacher planner. But all of the homeschool planners that I have tried have so much more. They want to incorporate all aspects of your life. and that doesn't work for my brain. I just want school stuff in here. I don't want all of my personal stuff too. It's way too overwhelming when I see everything all together. Yes, so I didn't end up using any of the sticky notes today, which I'm actually kind of surprised about, but I have a good foundation. I know what I need to do next, which is sit down and go through my resources and then actually pick a start day and start mapping out our year as a whole. That will come soon and I will share it with you when it does. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. If you have questions about anything that I talked about, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me. My contact form is always in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys. Bye.